Macy's. I didn't remember.
Mr. Macy's give you a pin.
I didn't remember.
You didn't remember bears?
Alright, well, I'm more Devine Designs.
I am Tinka, and that's it.
Thank you for coming, guys.
Have fun.
For Starfire, obviously she's supposed to be like really, really orange. My friend actually offered me to do like a spray-on tan, but you know, that comes off in 2 weeks. So what I do, I didn't do it today because it's Sunday and I'm tired, but I usually just contour my makeup. Like I actually have like a very like a bronzy kind of eyeshadow. I just kind of use that as my blush to tint it more since I'm already tan and orange, so it works a lot better than just looking flat out orange, like as orange as your hair. You want to give everyone some questions on that? That's my organization right there.
Yeah, reselling. This is something I wish someone had told me when I was first starting out, because I do tend, as I said, upcycling is my favorite thing, but that's because I do it more as a hobby and I won't really finish anything. I'm terrible. But if you do find yourself, like you want to do a character but you're like, I'm only going to wear this one time, keep your stuff in good condition when you're wearing it. Always like iron it and keep it clean. As soon as you're done wearing it, you should probably wash it. That's a big thing.
Can we play a little game really quick? What cosplays do you see in this?
Oh boy.
What cosplays do you see?
I don't know. There's a lot of pink.
Like there is a lot of pink, but what characters are there?
I can't tell. I can't tell from
Oh, come on.
It's too far.
It's too far.
Yeah, come on.
It's not too far.
There's a far.
I see Azula, I see Anastasia. Of course, I already know what's in there, so.
That's easy.
Oh, now I see now to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you do, we were having some like, whenever we were hashing out this whole PowerPoint, I was like, throw away things under a third of a yard. She's like, no, keep them. And so we came up with a compromise. If you're keeping your scraps, you can make them into little trinkets like hair bows and purses and wallets and things. And you can sell those.
You can turn them into gloves.
Yeah, and you can sell those. So that's a good use.
And then you make your money back.
Yeah, if you do want to keep your scraps, it's a cool thing to do.
Etsy. Etsy's another place to look.
You can sell old cosplays that you know you're not going to wear again to
This
people.
is scraps.
Yeah.
These are scraps right here today. That was 1/3 of a yard.
Okay. That are, you can sell them to people that are going to use them for Halloween costumes that you know you're not going to keep this costume really. That's a big time of year to do sales online.
You'll find your moocher friends at that time of the year.
Oh yeah, they're going to ask
day
you for
before
all the
Halloween.
And you'll be like, oh, you can buy it if you want to, or you can rent it. That's a fun one. Yeah, if someone wants to rent something and you're willing to do it, then heck yes.
I had 5 friends when I come over and go shopping in my closet. I was like, everything they picked out, I was like,
Yeah, that's a
Let
thing.
me interest you in these bins over here that say 1 year on it.
And the place you're going to find your biggest market and probably find someone who is willing to meet you at a price you want to sell it at and a price they want to pay for is going to be online. You have to be realistic when you're selling things. They are used. People, unless it's like pristine, brand new, never been worn, people are going to want a discount on it. Let's be real.
You can always put your price, but say like, no, best offer,
Yeah,
and then see what happens from there. They'll more likely to respond if you put best offer than just flat out price, because they'll look at it and go, that's too expensive. Yeah.
Exactly. And so from both perspectives, I do think that online trading is one of the best ways to go about it, because whenever you're approaching something to buy, you can just throw out an offer, or whatever people say, OVO or best offer. You can throw out an offer, and if they say no, you're like, okay, and you can go down and see all the people that have theirs listed and offer on their stuff. And then from a selling point of view, you can kind of get a feel for how other people are selling things, what you should sell your stuff for. Doing research in those kinds of online sales sites are really good. Etsy is a thing.
Another thing that I've kind of noticed, so this isn't bashing anyone's technique or skills, but if you happen to see another one like the exact same costume. Like I was gonna sell my Belle costume, but there was someone that was selling their Pale costume, which was amazing. I was like, all right, I'll wait to sell mine. Because they're clearly gonna go for that one more, and they're gonna look at that one and then look at mine and go, oh, that's not as good as that one over there, and then your feelings get hurt. So wait till that one sells.
Oh God, we left it in there.
Yes, we did.
This is a joke one, but an alternative cash flow. You know, sugar daddies are a great thing. You can always do GoFundMe's to fund your cosplay habit, right?
Drug dealing, we're not saying that you should, but I hear it's fast money.
Yeah, you know, shoplifting, and if you wait until the annual purge, go to Joann's and the sewing studio.
That's where we'll be.
You're gonna get some great stuff in there. I'm sure. Commit insurance fraud, you know? I don't care, there's a lot of cards. I'm sure if you find a drink, you can spill it out there, slip, hurt yourself, right? Hurt yourself, make some money. No. This is kind of just a way of,
Don't
showing-
do this.
Yeah, don't do these things. I see a big thing online recently with trying to crowdsource for cosplay and things like that. I think this is just kind of a way of slowly saying, like, this is a hobby. It's not gonna be life or death if your costume isn't the best thing. You don't need something perfect. You don't have to go to these obnoxious lengths to try to
tells me
get
this every time I start a cosplay. It doesn't have to be perfect.
It doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, you're gonna be learning and growing with everything you make and everything you work on, so it's okay if it's not perfect, you know? This thing, I got a lot to fix, but it's okay, because we're getting there. This is over a year in the making, and we're still working.
This wig gets bigger and bigger every time I wear it, so.
Exactly, that's enough for that page. Do we have any?
Nope.
That's it?
Cosplay's a
Tell us,
hobby.
yeah. Look at that, cosplay is a hobby. Danny DeVito agrees. Sorry. Well, we have some time.
That is the biggest thing, like, this is why this is at the end. This one is not the joke one.
Yeah, this is-
Cosplay is a hobby. This is not a career. I don't care what all those professional cosplayers say in the theater room. This is a hobby.
You can't.
Don't pick eating or not eating over your cosplay like I do. There's a reason I look good as Starfire, and that's not good. It's not because I don't like eating. I love food. Tijuana Flats has most of my paycheck. Yes, yes. Hook me up so I can save some, so I can budget. I can budget. See, you make friends, you budget.
There we go. Yeah, really, it's just, you can make money doing this, you know, you can get paid for
If
doing
you do make a career out of this, awesome. You've reached what most people cannot reach, so it's
But
perfect.
yeah, it's really just keep it all in perspective. You know, this is a hobby. You don't need to break your bank account trying to become the next Yaya Han. It's okay, you know? We're all just here for the fun and for the lulz and for the memes, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the memes.
You're here for me.
I'm only here for memes. Yeah,
I'm here for the single
questions.
ones.
Ask us them.
Just because it's on budgeting, to get an idea, what did your costumes run? Like, how much money did you sink into this project? And then how much time?
$15 right here. That's all.
Oh, everything else is scrap bin?
Yes. Wait, no. There was another. $10.
This is
Yeah.
in materials. This one's probably about $60 because I managed to get this velvet, which non-crushed stretch velvet is very hard to find. I managed to get it at an estate sale. I got like 3 yards of each of it for, I think it was like $5. It was super cheap. But this fur is usually, I think, $40 a yard. And when I bought it, it was already on sale, but I was running low on time. Usually you want to wait for things, if it's at Joann's, the biggest thing, don't buy something if it's on sale from them because it's usually about 20 to 30% off.
And you have a 50% coupon in your pocket.
There's usually coupons for 40 or 50% off on their website, in their app, in their email listing, and in their text messages. So
You can
go
stack
through those
that.
avenues first and wait until their stuff isn't on sale anymore.
You know another thing that I found out? Okay, so if you go where the patterns are, there's this little booklet that has Simplicity cosplay patterns. You flip to the back of that, you get at least 50% off fabrics, and I have yet to use a single one.
Yes, there's little books you can buy. I know that they usually sell them around Christmas time actually. It's a little booklet of coupons for Joann's, and it has 50, it has like 8 or 9, it has like 8 or 10, it's an even number. But it has a lot of 50% off coupons. It has percent off if you want to take classes in there. It has a lot of stuff. It's really cool. But yeah, this was about $60. Sorry, that's the answer.
Thank you.
Now, I actually have the real purple version. That one probably ran about 40. Yeah. That's just the costume, that's not the wig.
Yeah, I usually because I knew this one was gonna get expensive between the velvet and the fur, I usually try and keep it between about $30 and $70 in my materials. But again, that's something $30 would be like Harley in her roller derby outfit, you know, it's a lot less materials, but it's a lot of small things that you have to get. $70 would be more towards something like a ball gown where you're doing a lot of
why we see so many skimpy cosplays? Is because it's cheaper? They're budgeting. They're budgeting. Before you judge, they probably have more money.
And we're in Florida, it's very warm, they're very smart. No,
That's what you can
this
do
is not
on under a third
Florida
of the yard.
outfit.
Exactly, that's under a third of the yard. I like it. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, Lady Pumpkin Hair, yes.
Hi. What's the most you've ever spent on
Don't ask me that.
Okay,
It was so
I really
many.
want to get a picture of it.
It was so many.
It is my, okay, I don't know if anyone's seen the second Pocahontas movie. A huge ball gown.
Yes.
Yes, I've done it. I used coupons on it and scraps. It still ran up about $200.
Mine was actually.
That was my real hair. So upcycling,
Yeah.
using my resources and all my other wigs.
It's really funny. I was going to say about $200 too, and it was I did Glinda from Wicked, the musical based on the Wizard of Oz, in her big blue bubble dress, and it was. Let me calculate this. It was about 80 yards of materials because each of the little petals on it is 4 different sheer layers of fabric put together, and I wanted to kill myself. It was so much work. But yeah,
Moral of the
it was-
story, don't do ball gowns.
Yeah, don't do ball gowns
ball
unless
gowns.
you just want to be really sad. But you'll look pretty when you're sad. You'll be sparkly. Here's my favorite.
I think that's the most expensive one.
I'm trying. Yeah, I think Linda.
No, that is not the most. No, Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy was my most expensive because all those little leaves. Has anyone done Poison Ivy in the room? How much are those leaves?
I got mine free off a tree.
Recycling right here.
Resources. You're all natural over there.
$14.99 for mine of a lot.
Yeah, I have a little bit more to cover, so I had to
This
get at
is
least.
before she learned what coupons were.
Yeah, this actually was because Ivy was my first cosplay. So, and I also made her not have so many leaves, so once again, the skimpier, the cheaper. But no, my first Ivy, she was like a full corset. It kind of went out into a dress because it didn't want to move into the leotard. Anyway, I had to buy at least 4 of those vines, and they're like $15 each. You know, Poison Ivy still might be more expensive, or not Poison Ivy, Pocahontas probably still more expensive, but it felt like Poison Ivy was more expensive. It felt like it. So I had to go back like every day for more.
You know what the most expensive one I'm planning on making is? I'm redoing Belle from my Beauty and the Beast one.
Why?
But I'm looking for a nice light yellow velvet that I can't find anywhere but on the internet. And it's like $40 a yard and I can't find coupons. And
Another tip for budgeting,
at least.
don't make so much standards so high. Your expectations.
Well, I'm making the budget now so that I can
Beautiful
work on it.
though.
I'm making the budget now so that I can do it in like 2 years. See, we're gonna start saving for this now,
If you find the white on sale, you can dye it.
right? Oh, velvet's very hard to
No,
dye.
you can't dye velvet.
My most expensive one that I'm thinking about is gonna be Angel Woman, just because of those wings. Digimon.
Oh,
Did you sneeze?
On you.
Okay, sorry. Any other questions? Because we're good. We got like 15 minutes left, but we don't need these 15 minutes. You can use it to start planning your budget for your next cosplay.
Budget your time
We're
too.
budgeting time. Oh, we're so good. Nailed it. Crushed it. Any other questions?
Going once?
Yes.
Oh,
What was the most favorite unusual thing that you took to save money for a costume? Like anything unusual you used that was so random but worked?
my butt bump.
Those are awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, they were. This was the bump up weekend. I don't know if anyone saw me, but I was Jellica Schuyler on Friday and then one of the stepsisters yesterday. So what I did was literally my scraps, my 1/3 yard. 1/3 yard. I put them together.
Oh, so that's 2/3. I'm sorry, keep going.
Anyway, I honestly was trying to figure out a way to get those butts as big as I could, and just using those scraps and a pillow. Actually ripped open a pillow, took out that stuffing and put it in that. That's probably the most unusual, besides a full-blown costume. But yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to think. I've done weird things for costumes, but I think the one that just comes to mind since the most recent, I did a Playboy bunny Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty, and I had a portal gun. When I made it, it was
my
free
gosh, this
because I
thing.
took 2 picture frames that were very old and glued them together for the base, and then took the whisk. I took an old whisk that I had never used before, cut off the metal part and had a handle, and used a heat gun to heat warp it into the shape of his, like the handle, how it's curved and everything. And then I took a bubble wand and cut off the end of it so it was the top, and that was the little plasma part. And then I just glued a screen on and like painted it, and it looked real good. Great.
Ooh, another one that I made. It was actually for Dapper Day. I did Dapper Day chip, and I wanted bubbles as my headdress, so I used light bulbs and Christmas ornaments for that headband. Be careful with them light bulbs, but it was cute. It's broken right now with light bulbs. And it's clear. Yeah, they're still there.
Cool.
They're still there.
Cool.
But they need to be smaller. Alright, any other questions? We can sit here awkwardly and stare into each other's eyes. I hear if you stare at each other for 4 minutes, you fall in love.
Explains.
Yes.
Is there any tips for not nickel and diming away things? Because I've been trying so hard to cosplay my budget for so long, and I find myself like picking up one thing, and then that's $1. I could use that for the costume and make it like 45 years if I have time.
That's a personal problem,
So-
Auntie.
I have that problem too, though, so I feel you. So when you find the answer to that,
Yeah,
you
no.
let me know, because I do that I go into Joann's thinking I just need this and only this, and then I go by the scrap bin there so I can add to my. Why are you nodding your head over there?
Order a treat.
It is the truth. It's really sad.
What I would say, honestly though, go with a friend that will keep you on budget and keep you from buying things you don't need. Like, give them your list of what
Or
you
only
need.
bring in exactly how much you need. Then you don't have a choice.
Cash monies. But yeah, I definitely bring a friend with you that's also on a budget. Give each other your list, and then kind of go shopping for what you need. And then if you find something they like, be like, yeah, I approve of that, or I disapprove of that, and they can find it too. Try and find a good price.
Or you have this one who goes, you do you, and just walks away.
You do you. Yeah, it works. But I mean, if you do really want to stay and not impulse buy on things, definitely bring a friend with you. It's a
I
big.
think I've walked out of Joann's with one thing once.
I've never done that ever. I always
Although
walk
this
out
last
at least
Friday,
with
I
a
was
secret
very
bar.
proud of myself. I had a basket of things I didn't need, saw the line, and just went, nah.
I went in one day and I was going to buy white thread to finish this, and I walked out with like $60 worth of fabric because it was all on sale, but I'm using it. But it was very necessary. It's not necessary. It was necessary.
Like I said, this is a panel called Learn from Our Mistakes.
Yeah, don't do what we do. We're trying to teach the next group of cool people how to not do this. But it's fun. No. In all honesty, I do think like trial and error over the years has helped us find like the best mode for keeping on a budget. So we're just trying to pass those tips on to everyone.
Once again, so this is how I kind of talk myself into, I guess, getting into my shopaholic persona. So if it's 50% off fabric, to me in my head that goes, oh, so it's like buy one get one free a yard. It hasn't failed me. And then I get 2 yards when I really need one, and then I have scraps.
Then why don't you just get buy one get one half off, but like a half yard, so then it's buy a half yard get a
But
half
then I
yard.
get more. But I might later. So later down the road, I don't need it. If I could, I would.
But budgets.
Yes.
Budgets. No. Okay, so that I think about does it for us. If you want to introduce yourself, I have some terrible business cards because upcycling.
I forgot
These
mine.
are from back when I helped run a princess party company. I just crossed that out on the bottom. But my cosplay page is still on them. I did that to all 250 cards that I had. So it took like a long time. You should totally get one. These are limited edition because, you know, custom done. Blue.
I forgot mine.
Yeah, just if you want to be cool. If
I'm
you
not
have any
used to
questions,
business cards.
feel free to ask us.
You forgot yours, but you can write on the back of those.
Yeah, you can. I like this one. She knows what she's doing. Look at that.
Then that requires it.
We need a Mr. Meeseeks.
I didn't remember.
Mr. Meeseeks, give me a
I
pen.
didn't remember.
You didn't remember Bears?
Alright, well, I'm More Divine Designs.
I am Tinka, and that's
That's
it.
it. Thank you for coming,
Yeah,
guys.
have fun.
5 different wigs. All of these are from Amazon. If you want a nice quality wig that's not Arta and gets here like that, Amazon.
Yeah, if you're a student, Amazon Prime is, I believe, free for 8 months, 6 months, something
Sure.
like that. Yeah, you get free Prime, so it's free 2-day shipping on anything you buy that's Prime qualified. It's cool. Hey, upcycling, your favorite word. I love this. It's
I learned this word when we were making this PowerPoint.
Yeah, it's this wig is a good example of it too. It's using old pieces from costumes that you know you're not going to wear anymore, and taking them, adjusting them, and putting them to use for something else. So, for instance, let's see. This wig was originally an aerial wig that I had. I just cut off a whole bunch of length. I dyed half of it black, and it became a Harley wig. And it's not in the best quality, so I knew it would have to be something in an updo. It's getting creative. I have it under a hat, so it's nice and hidden.
The red wig that's in the 3 pictures, that is one wig. My very first wig, literally if you take care of it, you can change it. If you know how to curl it, which is super easy to curl. You can straighten it, everything like that. If you can use it for multiple characters, then get the wig. Like if you have a character who's a redhead, but you have another one that's like maybe a slightly darker red, or find something in the middle so that you can use that wig twice.
Also, your best friends with a lot of cosplays are going to be, especially for girls, character shoes. A pair of black character shoes might be a little bit expensive to start out with, but once you have them, they last for a long time, and they work for so many costumes. That's what's in these right now. I just made some boot covers out of the leftover fabric from this, and that became boots that normally get very expensive to try and make or
Got
buy.
mine from Target. Black Friday with a coupon.
What? That's your best friend, right?
And the bottom part of this yellow bird's nest, it was white and it was actually my storm wig. So once again, I knew I wasn't gonna do storm again. So it was just sitting there. Dye it, reuse it.
So on those like first few topics of making a budget, on couponing, and on upcycling, does anyone have any questions? About those in particular? So we got a lot more stuff to talk about. Okay, moving on. Oh yeah.
Oh,
no,
snap.
let's
So
go.
the long wig on the top of that,
Yes.
you turned it into a loop.
Yes, that was originally a wig that I would use for Elsa, and I wound up, cutting off a lot of the length and dyeing it blue for Princess Luna, and the way to do that, if you can't find a wig in the color you like, that wig is actually, I believe it was $40 in a local shop, which we'll get to shopping locally too. It's a lace front, really nice hairline and everything, and I knew I wanted that. That wig in the blue, I couldn't find it in person, I could only find it online. It would have been like $100 for something like that. So I bought that one and then just dyed it myself with some fabric dye. I dyed poly, by the way. It's the best stuff to use when you're dyeing wigs.
That's what this is.
There you go. That's gonna be your best friend when you're trying to change a wig color if it's synthetic like this. Human hair wigs obviously use real hair dyes for, but those are very expensive. So stay synthetic.
We're trying to stay on a budget.
Yeah. Wait, what? This is about budgeting?
It's not for us. We're trying to make sure they learn from our mistakes.
Ooh, scrapping.
This is my favorite topic.
This is great.
This is all scraps. All of this.
Oh my god.
I have redone the fur on this year. You see, budgeting things out over time. I originally wanted to do a fur that was this fluffy, but on the original version of this costume from last year, I had leftover shorter fur from a different costume that I just used as scraps from my scrap bin to do this.
All three of those photos are just from that scrap bin of
Loveliness.
yeah up there.
It was great.
That is current. That was taken this morning.
I would say though, because sometimes your hoard can get too much. I have definitely found do not really save anything under about like a third of a yard. Anything less than that, it looks like
You
a
can
lot
make
of
a corset out of it.
Yes, you should keep it.
Yeah.
But anything less than that I've found really doesn't have a purpose. Like you can't even really make a whole sleeve out of it, much less make anything wearable. That kind of stuff is okay to throw away even if it looks like it's a lot. But anything a third of a yard onward, I definitely say keep in your stash.
and it won't get out of your way.
Perfect. Yeah, just keep it. And what we should talk about what happens. Is that next? What happens if you don't want yours anymore?
Let's see if that's next. It is next! Yes, okay, so what we have discovered with our friends is that we have too much crap. We like making costumes for every convention. We never reuse our costumes because we are creative, like I'm sure all of you are, and want to make something new every con. So we obviously have fabric, we have props, we have outfits that our friends have been wanting to do. So we get together and we have like a little exchange party. Everyone brings their bins of fabric, we lay it all out, and you can either pay them for it or swap fabric. Like my friend did the blue version of Aurora, and it was very pretty swirly blue fabric, and I looked and I was like, well, I'm not gonna do Aurora because I can't pull off blonde, but I do want to make a cape for Jasmine, like the one in Tokyo. So this is actually kind of perfect. So I'll swap this with whatever you have or whatever you want from mine. She took like 5 things from me.
Yeah. So it was a brocade, so it was like a fancier fabric. And
That I would not be able to afford on my own.
yeah. And so this is kind of your best friend. I keep saying that everything's my best friend, so it's all your best friend too.
This is my best friend.
Because computer's my best friend. Yeah, it's really helpful to just have friends that are in this community. That's in the top. That's my
You're pointing to the
obnoxious corner. I
screen.
know. But in the top right-hand corner, that's my obnoxious containers, just full of wigs
She's
and
more organized than me.
felt and fabric. And one of our other friends has a whole. It's a laundry room just stacked with fabric, and what we do is if anyone needs anything, they'll kind of come to us first and ask if we have it, and if we do, we just throw it at them because I have fabrics in there I haven't touched for like 5 years that I just can't part with yet because someone might need it, and it's easier, with friends, karma's a good thing.
Or last minute you think, oh, you know what would be cool? A Christmas
There
starfire.
you go, there you go.
I still don't know what this fabric was. Was it Shazam? It was Shazam, because there was a ton of it. A ton of it.
But yeah, again, as it says in bold letters at the bottom, if you haven't used it, I say 2 years is normally like a good timer for when
Unless you
should-
upcycle with it.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah, if you haven't touched it or seen it in your closet for 2 years, exchange it, or at least put it on the market to be exchanged with everyone else's stuff. Even
Like
if you
on
love it.
Facebook.
Yeah, there's Facebook groups just for this stuff too. There's Central Florida swapping things. There's
Cosplay for sale.
cosplay
Like
for
the one
sale.
shown on the screen.
Yes, there's if you go and you look, I'm sure if you're not from Central Florida, if you're from somewhere else, your local community, more than likely there is a cosplay scene and a cosplay sales scene. So that's
I
probably
look for props on there more. Like, and if I'm looking for a specific wig, you can type in there saying, hey guys, I'm looking for a wig that would be perfect for Harley or something like that. Because you know, someone's doing Harley. Someone's selling something of Harley. It's probably the easiest thing to find on there.
Okay. Where you shop. This is a very big thing. I adore thrift shopping.
Yeah.
Yes, I love finding, I call it making
Antique
it into
shopping.
like a Cinderella story where you find something that's kind of like dusty and you make it into like the beautiful ball gown.
Talk about that top picture.
Oh yeah, that was Charlotte LaBeouf from Princess and the Frog. I found an old 80s obnoxious prom dress. Obviously I have a hoop skirt under it. But on the left, that's the dress as I found it. And on the right, it still needs a few more tweaks. But I turned it into Charlotte LaBeouf from Princess and the Frog. It was
You get so much fun in that dress.
it was great. It was about, I think it was $15 for the dress. And it, by the end of it, was a lot more stuff. And again, I used scraps to do the sleeves, to do the big pink bow on the front. There's sheer layers. All of that was in my hoarding bin. So I spent $15 to make that whole cosplay.
And katana was literally all found at Plato's Closet. Like, I just went through there, found leather pants, leggings, and a leather jacket, and while I was trying it on, I asked my brother, I was like, hey, go see if maybe there's some red combat boots out there. And there they were in my size, which is ridiculous, because I never find things in my size. So literally all of that, oh, I stole his gloves, so that was shopping in my brother's closet. I still have. But yeah, all of that, thrift store shopping.
The kind of weirder things like gloves. For instance, these were $1 in Walmart, these gloves I'm wearing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to these smaller things like gloves, socks in a certain color, you don't have to go to like a fancy place, just go to the dollar store. It's cheap.
Forever 21, I think, has almost every color you could ever want.
Or, you know, go to Walmart and get white socks and dye them. I love to dye things. Dyeing things, definitely if you have like saved up a whole stash of dyes over the years, especially if you get the big bottles of liquid, those are awesome so you can determine how much you use. Just start collecting those as you dye different things, and over the years you'll be surprised how many things you can change, just tint it a little bit to make it into a cosplay that you would like. It's cool.
For Dapper Day, so my grandmother, I love her to death because she still lives in the 50s. So every time it's sad because she lives in Oklahoma, so every time I ask her like, hey, what should I do for Dapper Day? This is kind of my character, what can I do? She literally be like, I have this. I'm like, I'm in Florida, but when I come by, I'm gonna go shopping in your closet for all the Dapper Day things. So grandmothers, they're amazing.
Yeah, family, there's always really cool stuff that, you know, grandparents, if you have family that is willing to part with things. I know my family's similar, they're very supportive of cosplaying and all that stuff, which is really nice, and so
My
they've been
aunt's
able-
actually jealous that she wasn't Drizella with me yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, she's very jealous. I'm like,
Yeah, it's very helpful sometimes, and you can ask, you know, parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, any cousins. Someone's bound to have something cool in their closet. If you ask, I'm sure you'd be surprised. Even friends,
yeah.
even friends that don't cosplay, be like, hey, do you have this? Can I borrow it? Can I
Estate
buy it?"
sales. If you see an estate sale, stop. Most likely there's a sewing machine in there somewhere.
Usually in pretty good condition. Might just need some oil. But yeah, you can get a sewing machine for very cheap. That's usually a pretty good quality one at estate.
I missed out on an estate sale with a friend, and I missed out on a serger.
Oh.
Yeah, it hurts. That hurt.
The internet, again, that's a great place. eBay and Amazon are a thing if you're careful, and make sure you read your descriptions, because you might think you're buying a jacket for like $6 and you're like, heck yes, a $6 really nice jacket, and then it's like a doll jacket. That's happened before. Don't do that. Read the description, that's all I'm saying.
You want to talk about our favorite store? Getaway store? This is the time to talk about it.
Okay, my favorite place. There is a store, if you live in the Orlando area on Colonial Drive, there is a store called No. 1 Beauty Supply. It's right next to the Magic Mall and the Christian Supply
I
Store.
don't think you're in the wrong neighborhood. You're not.
I love them. No, they, whenever I go in there, there's a room in the back and they have lace front wigs in a huge variety of colors. If you're going to be dyeing it to a different color, I recommend going in and asking for the color 613, which is that very light blonde that my Elsa picture was. It has a bit of a yellow tint, but it'll take most colors really well, and they're all heat resistant. They are very styling friendly, and they like to be teased and everything, and they have a really nice hairline to them.
And they've gotten used to us, so they know all about the cosplay community, and to the point where you can walk in, like I did with Esmeralda, say, I need this wig right here from this part, and they'll go, right here, and you'll think,
It's
literally,
magic.
there's hundreds of these wigs on the stand, they'll go, how about this wig, and we have it in this color, they'll go into the back and come out in 5 minutes, and you're like, how?
If you mention me, by the way, they give you free wig caps apparently.
What?
Yeah. I had friends go in there the other
Katie.
day. Yeah, Leah. She went in there the other day and mentioned me, and they just gave her wig caps.
They
so
give me a discount.
I love them. Go
What's
in
your
there.
name again?
I'm Katie.
Okay.
Just say you know Katie, and they'll be like, oh, her,
It's-
that weird girl.
If you need a wig
Yeah.
fast and you definitely, you have time to drive over to Colonial, it's definitely worth it. They're good quality wigs, and they usually, I think the cheapest wig that I got there, granted, that one was like a little bit lower quality, was probably about $19.99, but the most expensive I've gotten is $39.99. I know, once again, we're trying to be on a budget, however, you go on Arda, the wig I got for Esmeralda would have cost me $70. So,
Yeah, and these are also wonderful because you can ask them, when you see a wig you like, they come in a variety of colors. You're really looking at the style on display. They are more natural colors. I can't stress that enough. It's like browns and blacks and gingers and things like that. But they are really just useful, and it's nice to see the color in person. That's like a big thing that I
and
always
they'll
have
help you,
trouble
they'll put it on you too so you can make sure that it fits you, and they'll even say like, hey, we need to style this, or what, they'll style it on you, go, this is how you should do it, so you can see exactly what you're getting. Yes.
What's the name of the store again?
No. 1 Beauty Supply.
Number 1.
And
There's-
a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them everywhere, that's our personal favorite.
It's honestly local beauty supply shops are
Okay.
great. In your area, even if you're not from here, beauty supply stores are great places for resources. Just go in, explain what you're looking for, and they're usually willing to help.
And one other question about the wig cap. What type of wig cap do you recommend for someone who gets headaches really easily? I would be wearing my wig right now, except I can only wear it for like a couple hours at a time, and then it
It's-
literally makes me throw up.
So
That's more how I think styling your hair underneath.
yeah, okay, so I have very thick Native American hair under here, like it goes down to here at least. So yes, I definitely feel you. What I do, like right now, this obviously isn't killing me, right? This is actually lighter than my real hair.
Oh my goodness.
So what I do, I always get like a little bit looser of wig cap, pin it so, like I braid my hair, pin it as flat as it can go, and then put the wig cap over, and then I get a stocking to smush it down more. The smaller your hair is underneath, the less resistant the wig
Yeah.
is to like trying to stay on. So as long as you get that hair flat, and then I always try to push it, as you can see underneath this, you can push it at least a little bit past the hairline, so it's not digging into your head. And then just pull the wig just slightly over it, and then you'll also look more natural too.
And the biggest thing to help to alleviate headaches and things like that is how you proportion out where the weight is distributed on this one.
How
I
would you
do-
recommend doing that? Because I've got like thin hair on the top and then god awful thick at the nape of my neck and back.
What I do, my hair underneath, it's not as long as yours, but it's a similar kind of texture. I usually part it down the middle, roll it on the sides, almost like a French twist in a way, and then wrap it around. That usually helps to create a more natural hairline too, because you still have a part in your hair.
Okay.
And then you put your wig cap on. I use the mesh stocking caps, not the knitted, like the wide left ones. I find stocking caps take bobby pins a lot better too. And that's usually for me what I found to be the biggest thing. Again, most of the stores that you'll shop in person have combs already in the wigs. This one has combs in it. I definitely recommend if you do have headaches, sewing in combs into the temples of your wig, which is where they are on mine, and then in the back of the wig I have one as well. And then bobby pins in an X shape at the base, right above where your crown is. And then if you still have any pain, I would go closer to your temples. You're trying to distribute the weight evenly, so it doesn't pull in one spot.
Just going back real quick, you said French twist, like one on either side?
Yeah, I part it in the middle and then I just start twisting it. I wish I had my hair. You just take it and you just start, pretend that this is,
Yeah.
you just twist it like this, sort of.
Uh-huh.
You just start twisting it back
Okay.
like that. And then once you get to the middle, pull it back up and do it again as many times as you need to until it's kind of,
So you fold it over the top of your head, basically?
yes. And you're gonna do it kind of like a halo shape.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Another thing about the beauty store, if you have a character that has like very, how to put this?
And then you just sort of secure the ends of the French twist with an X-shaped bobby pin configuration?
Once you have your hair up, you can pin it however is most comfortable for you. Mine, I normally don't even pin my actual hair underneath it. The stocking cap is very tight, it's not loose. Stocking caps don't have an opening in the top of them, they fit like right on your head.
Yeah, I think that's the kind that I have that's actually giving me a bad headache.
Okay, yeah,
It's the one that's kind of like the really sheer pantyhose type material.
yes, yes.
Yeah, that one kills me.
Is it the wig cap itself that is giving you a headache?
I
Because it might
think
just
so.
be too tight.
Yeah.
Okay, then
Put like a little
change.
snip in it. If you want, like, there's one wig cut that I have that's too tight. At the back, at least, I put like a little cut in it so the elastic isn't like just digging into my head.
Okay, so when I do that, would I have to like sew it down so it doesn't unravel a little bit?
Yeah.
Like, how would you exactly do that? How big of a cut would it need?
Just like literally just take your scissors and just cut it in half so that way it can expand. You can figure out where it sits on your head if it feels comfortable, and then you can adjust how tight you want it.
Okay.
Like if you want, you can actually take an old wig and that elastic hook that you have on there, cut that off and put that into your wig cap. That's what I have on mine.
I would even say just stretching it over something that's a little
Bigger than your head can like stretch
yeah,
out.
even if you get like a balloon and inflate it a little bit and stretch it over there, that might help.
Okay.
I think it's probably going to be that circumference that's a little bit too tight for you.
Right, okay.
Alright, so finishing my statement before we move on to the next slide. For the beauty store, if you have a character who has very bright makeup, like unnaturally bright makeup, like you're not gonna find that at Walmart, that place does. Because obviously they cater to more ethnic groups of people. We have to have bright colors to show on us. So they will have those bright ass colors for you. And sometimes, like, we had a friend who was looking for a certain kind of teal. They had it. I don't know why they had it, but they had it. And if you have if you need like giant hoop earrings, like for Esmeralda, I need that one giant gold. I found it. I'm mad that I found it because now it hurts my ear every time. But it's there. They have all these different kind of accessories. So when in doubt, if you can't find it at Claire's, go to there.
When it comes, when it comes to your makeup, instead of focusing on getting the best quality actual makeup, something with a high pigment, I always say go with investing in your primers and your setting methods. I use Urban Decay to set all my makeup, and I just use, I think it's Revlon, it's the Photo Ready primer makeup. It comes in a little pink bottle that you like press and squirt. It's cool. That's what I use for my makeup. I don't normally need to reapply it too much before. Even this will last like all day. Just